Hey, it's me, Peyton, and so autism is just so I have autism, and it's kind of tough. It's been tough all my life. A lot of people use it, or have it that use it as an excuse for their bad behavior. It really, so the behavioral shit. So basically, like, basically, a lot of people think that people are behaving badly. So I want you guys to recognize that all the I just keep saying physiological, it's psychological pain manifestations that you see in a person with ASD actually flow out of the underlying neurological system of ASD. So basically, the behavioral chicken hatches out of the physiological egg. That's important to understand because when people with autism seem to be behaving badly, it's often because we're hurting badly. So basically, so uh, analogy that I recently found from themoney.com, shout out to them, an article on that website, um, is comparing autism to a frayed stereo speaker wire. So when you drive your stereo and turn on the tunes and all is working well with the speaker wire, then the sound is sweet, crisp, and clear. Hear what the artist and producer intended for you to hear, and it's a good, pleasant thing. However, if your speaker wire has a short in it, if it's frazzled by a fray, then things might not go so well and a clear connection could be lost. There are moments when that frayed wire may be in the perfectly placed position to still allow really solid sound to pass through. In that moment, the music is coming through loud and clear, and you get to enjoy the groove. Sorry. But then something shifts, even just a little, and suddenly that worn wire produces static and maybe even sparks, which is not cool. The music's still there, but with it is another competing noise, a sharp and crepitating noise, a noise that's taking something pleasant and made it painful, basically a static. All of a sudden, something shifts again, and everything has gone from simple static to overwhelming and excruciating white noise. In chaotic cacophony, which is a vacuum of with no sound, thanks Pokemon, um, you find yourself reaching for the volume control in order to mute the mess because it hurts, which is basically what happens when, inside a person with autism. Then things shift once more, and the frayed wire is now in a position where nothing's getting through. Connection has been lost and all is silent. The stereo itself is still making a melody, but that melody is trapped inside the machine and unknown to anyone on the outside. What, Mom? Sorry, that's just my mom. Welcome to autism. Our neurological wiring, the speaker table through which the device this is sentence, well, travels in us is frayed. At one point, we're positioned so things of life are coming through clearly and may almost seem okay, maybe even normal. Our melody might momentarily sound marvelous. Then the wire wails and begins to produce some static, and we become confused and stressed because we're trying to hear the tune of our surroundings over and against the torture of the snap, crackle, and pop of the crimped cord. Suddenly, the wire is all stacked and we're utterly undone because the racket is just too much to bear and we're suffering from the neurological distress. And then there are those times when the what? When the connection gets completely cut and we find ourselves disconnected from the music and meaning of life. That tune is still in our head, we just can't get it out for you to hear. The frayed wire that is autism is not a pretty place and is often a painful place. I encourage you to remember this analogy when you see a person with autism, like me, someone with a shutdown or a meltdown or an absolute disconnect to his or her environment. Neurological wire is not working well. We're not insane, we're in pain. Please have some mercy in the midst of our malady, whatever that is, and show a little compassion to us and to those with us as we seek to navigate the nightmare. Side note, um, shout out to the mighty for the article, and thanks, and that's gonna be it for today.